All
It's
right.
crazy because not a lot of that.
What's crazy?
Not a lot of stuff going on in NBA shit except for COVID talk.
Yeah, no, I was just getting ready to say.
Like,
I was
Jesus
at
Christ.
I was at Barclays Center for that game. Nets Magic.
It's nasty.
It's getting nasty. Let me tell you something. Oh, woo! We are living in some scary times. The only reason why I say that is because obviously it was an NBA game, so I enjoy myself. It's still hoop at the end of the day. But man, the amount of players that just aren't playing right now is it's getting scarier and scarier by the day. What do you think the league should ultimately do though, like to kind of address the situation?
Shut it down. Shut it down for like 2 weeks. Basically, shut it down for 2 weeks, or maybe shut it down to Martin Luther King Day, and then have everybody come back Martin Luther King Day. I think that would probably be the best like scenario because nobody want to watch Christmas games watching Isaiah Thomas versus Cam Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
now you know damn well they are not about to cancel games. You know
yeah.
You know damn well that shit is not about to happen. Yeah. Not any of them. Not any of them. They might cancel, every couple games here and there.
They was canceled because of like not having enough players, of course. But I'm just saying, it's just like what you asked me what I would do. Like, I think they should shut it down. Like, I think they shut it down. Like 2 weeks. But is money that important? Yes, it is.
I was about to say. I know you just asked that.
Yes, it is.
I know you ain't gonna ask that.
Yes, it is.
The league is gonna make sure. If there is one thing we know for a fact, is that games will be played.
Yeah, they added an extra roster too for teams.
Yeah,
so they can pick an extra roster player too now.
That's how you know now who's on the court is going to be one thing, but whether or not the game is going to be played, you best believe that there's going to be some basketball being played on December 25th.
Yeah, it's nasty. I don't know, man. This is like COVID is generational. Signed a 3-year rookie deal.
It's getting nasty. But
crazy,
you know what though? The good thing I would say about this is that it's giving a lot of guys opportunity. Right? Like, if it opens up a roster spot, who knows what, they can make out of that in the future. So,
yeah. Isaiah Thomas came right off the street. He playing high minutes.
He playing high minutes. Starting high minutes.
High minutes like the Boston Celtics days. Like, he hooping. So, I think this is a perfect opportunity for him. It's just like he's taking the most out of his opportunity. He's been balling these past 2 games that he's played with the Los Angeles Lakers. So, it's just like, guys like that. Who else knows? Like, maybe we see Lance Stevenson comes in the NBA. Maybe we see Michael Beasley. Like it's some guy Deion Waiters. Like it's some players out there that these teams with this extra roster addition, they can really sign and like give a chance that are still guys that probably should already be in the NBA. We had a conversation last week talking about that, but it's just kind of like young players coming in, new draft, 30 guys, 60 guys a year coming in and stuff like that. Kind of like weed out the older guys that most people feel that should be in the NBA. But hey, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be crazy because I think the draft is probably going to be here a lot quicker than we think. But yeah, to list off all the guys that you mentioned that should probably be in the league, I would say Jamal Crawford too. I mean, the list can kind of, in my opinion, go on and on. But I think now, more than ever, is a time where we're going to see a lot of, new guys or even, old faces in different places kind of thing. So, but yeah, man, the amount of guys that have just either missed time. But you know what, though? It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out come playoff time. Like now it's like, all right, it's a regular season. We're not even at Christmas yet, really. So it's like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. But come April and May and, whether now they go back to the bubble format and all that, it's like, I definitely
don't see that happen. I don't think it's
you don't see what happening.
Any type of situation where the bubble is a bubble for the league. I really don't see that because what happens is people are vaccinated. So I just feel like the NBA is going to feel like, people that are vaccinated, come to the games. Like, they want that money, man. Like, I don't think we're going to see a situation where they just drop teams down, everybody go to Orlando again, and we do a bubble part. I really don't see that. That was such a tough situation where there was no vaccines and stuff like that. Now, like 70% of the United States is vaccinated. So I definitely don't see it's going to be like a bubble situation. That was during a time where it was just like COVID was first going on. There was no vaccines. There was a whole lot of stuff. But I definitely don't see. They were trying to finish out a season, which was playoffs and regular season and playoffs. I just definitely don't see it being another bubble situation.
But now it's like, all right, worst case scenario, obviously, knock on wood, hope this doesn't happen. But if one player, like if they decide to not go the bubble route and just one player ends up getting it late in the playoffs, then what? Because again, obviously not to say any names, but like if like your best player or whatever gets it, then it's like.
That's if LeBron gets it. But we already heard talks about like the NBA kind of like It's its own entity. It's its own private league. They kind of can do what they want to do. We already heard talks about the NBA and possibly like, yo, if player gets COVID and they're positive, they show no symptoms, asymptomatic, they may be on the court. That's what they're talking about right now. So it's just kind of like,
yeah, but I mean, if a guy tests positive, I don't care if he got symptoms or not, he should not be out.
I feel the same, but it's just like the NBA don't feel that way.
No, I mean, I don't think it would get that aggressive where it's like, all right, yeah, is your test positive, but you're not coughing, you're not, you don't have a high fever, all right, where you can hoop. No, they're gonna have to shut it down because as we all know, right, like just because you're, asymptomatic doesn't mean that you pass it on to someone else. Now they'll be the exact same way. So it's like, I get it, the games have to be played, but at the same time, I think, you're running a huge risk by not going back the bubble route, at least come playoff time. Like all it takes is for one player. Like think about it now. Like I said, bro, that Nets Magic game, and that was just one game.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, like no one was there. You know what I'm saying? And so that doesn't matter now because it's December. But if that's the case, come again April or May, that's a waste of a season. At least last year or whatever, the season, or excuse me, 2 years ago, the season was able to be finished.
I just feel like it's gonna. I just think it's just like 2 years ago. We had no vaccinations. We had no booster shots. I just feel like it's no way that the NBA is gonna have a bubble situation, and it's not gonna be fans in the stands. I just feel like it's no way because we have a vaccination, we have booster shot. Like it's gonna be. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine it. I just really can't imagine it being like another bubble situation.
And we got a whole new variant, and it's still record high numbers. So I mean.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said, I get it from a vaccination standpoint, and hopefully by June or whatever, that means we would have been 2 years removed from the bubble / we should be medically in a better space. But at the same time, again, all it takes is one person. Like if I'm a fan of a team or if I'm a GM, like people already don't really give the Lakers too much credit on that championship in the bubble. But at least everyone was healthy, right? So it's like, okay, at the end of the day, these are the guys that are playing. So it ain't like whatever. But if you run the risk of having the playoffs in a regular NBA arena with thousands of fans, and again, just one person gets it on any given day, it's like,
they did it last year.
What the hell did you think?
And they did it last year. That's what I'm saying. It's just like,
that's true.
It's just a dicey situation. I just don't see it, bro. I really don't see it because we already got especially when it comes to certain states that not even really taking it seriously. Look at the South, look at Florida, look at Texas, stuff like that. It's just like, I don't know. I just don't see it. It's hard for me to imagine the NBA losing all that money again.
It's crazy what money can do, man.
To go to a bubble, bro. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. Like,
it's crazy what money can do, man. I'm praying for all my Kings in the NBA, man. I really am, bro, because it's getting crazy. And now with again, so many guys getting it. And this is obviously as a human being, regardless of how good you are at basketball, anyone can get, corona, of course. But just to see now that top guys are getting it, nobody.
But it's not even, but it's protocols as well. Now, not everybody is getting COVID. It's also the protocol measure. If you were connected with somebody who had COVID, now you got to sit out and you got to get tested. So that's the thing. They have to maybe retool the protocol situation. Because now it's getting to the point where okay, if you're testing negative multiple times, even though it's contact tracing, but you still got to miss games, that can become an issue. And that's what we're seeing. It's not a lot of these guys. Some of these guys are getting COVID, testing positive, but some of these guys have just been contact tracing around people with COVID. So it's just they're having to sit out games and miss games. I think the commissioner, Adam Silver, has to figure out and maybe retool and reshuffle this COVID protocol situation where okay, the contact tracing, all right, we understand that, but it's just if you're testing negative 5 times and stuff like that, you got to let these guys play if they're not positive. So there's some things that's got to be figured out, but I think they're going to take this little break with the Christmas games, and then they're going to have a couple of days off and maybe figure some things out. But I think by Martin Luther King Day, we may have a new health and protocol situation.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to figure it out soon, though. Obviously, there's nothing that you can really do to kind of completely stop the pandemic, obviously, but just in terms of the overall approach. If guys can't play, they can't play, but now what's next? And I mean, it's like everywhere you look, you kind of get an alert on your phone saying so-and-so is going to be out.
Yeah,
Due to protocols.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's been crazy.
It's been back to back to back. It hasn't been like, all right, 3 weeks in between. Like, it's like damn, everybody is,
Everybody.
you know what I'm saying? And again, fortunately, a lot of guys have been able to return. You know what I'm saying? But I think the uncomfortable conversation that might have to happen is, well, how do we address the worst case scenario kind of thing? Because now this is the thing where you really have to think like, oh shit, like what if, again, knock on wood, God forbid, but if that happens, how do you deal with it then?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's a business at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? If they just, they employees, so they got a job to do and they're making a shit ton of money. So
but let me tell you something, it's different rules for different players. Because best believe if it's a playoff time, and let's say the King gets COVID, and ain't gonna be they're playing without LeBron James. They're playing without Giannis.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Like, what's going to happen then?
Or Kevin Durant. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but series may get postponed until those guys come back. But it's not going to be a situation where the best players in the world are missing. I just don't see it.
I don't see it, nor do I want to see it, but I'm just thinking of a reality kind of thing.
It could happen,
If you're not going to play in a bubble, and you want to hold every single person accountable. Because again, we're just talking about the players on the court, right? But if we're going to hold every single person from staff to fan to player to GM to whoever accountable, if one player gets it, regardless of who it is, they got to sit out. And if this happens in like game 5 of the NBA Finals, now you open it up a crazy
conspiracy.
Conspiracy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's.
Like,
hopefully you don't get to that point.
Of course.
This is an early conversation. Hopefully we don't have to speak on this in a few months.
I'm just saying it now because I think that's something that we, as people have to just think about. Like, we may not be taking it that big of a deal now. Like, all right, guys have to sit out because of COVID.
Season,
Right, yeah, it's not that big of a deal now. But if the way we are seeing guys sit out at this rate, again, I don't want this to happen, of course. But it has to be addressed or at least thought about beforehand. And I don't know if there's a plan in place. I don't know, like from an X and O standpoint, coaches, all right, whatever, you try and make, adjustments. But from a straight up viewership perspective, yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun with that one because ain't no replacing a guy that can give you 30. Ain't no replacing, finals
Giannis,
like
Kevin Durant, like Stephen Curry, LeBron.
You know what I'm saying? Like the game might go on, but the game ain't really gonna go on if you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, especially if you're missing. It's a difference between those guys being in the playoffs and losing in the first or second round and being knocked out. That's something different. Like we saw that last year. We know what happened with injuries with Giannis and in the Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers, but it was still like, they had opportunity, injuries happened, they played, they lost. So it's just kind of like, it is what it is. People are still going to tune in to watch games. But if the best players don't even have an opportunity to play because of the situation, then that's when it gets dicey. Because now it's going to be like, well, as a fan, that's going to be hard to sell. That's going to be hard to sell, like saying like, oh, Kevin Durant may have to miss the first 2 games because of COVID, or LeBron James, or Giannis, or Russell Westbrook, or whoever. It's just kind of like, that's Stephen Curry. That's a hard, especially your top players. But it just lets you know that, COVID is generational. He don't care if you black, white, purple, pink, LeBron James, a normal person on the street. It don't matter. It's just kind of like, hey, everybody's human at the end of the day.
Exactly. No matter how talented you are, it's like this shit is undefeated. And it's happening left and right. But I mean, I think the league has done a decent job of kind of handling it. Like I said, there really is only but so much you can do. Between the negative test, the quarantining, spending like 10 days after a positive test, so you got to get back to back net or something like that. It's like, hey, I think it's being managed somewhat well now.
Yeah, we're in a situation that nobody was really necessarily prepared for. It's just kind of like, that's life though. Sometimes you don't you just got to roll with the punches at the end of the day. And this is the NBA that we're in, so it's just like people are going to talk about the bubble situation, but like you said, this 2020 Lakers, everybody was healthy. Everybody won. People are going to talk about the COVID playoffs last year. You know what? Giannis and the Bucks won. Everybody may not have been healthy, but it's just kind of like injury-wise. But at the same time, those guys were on the court. They lost. Bron lost to the Suns. Kevin Durant lost to Giannis.
Yeah.
COVID playoffs, but it is what it is.
And I think though too is gonna hurt is that there's a difference too. I would say between like injuries versus COVID, right?
Yeah.
So if guys are injured, obviously you know that happens. So you just think to yourself, man, all right, what could have been?
Yep.
That's a part of the game. But the guy, has to sit out due to protocols. It's like, damn, all right,
that's when it gets dicey.
Yeah, this don't happen every day. Is this something that we can just wait on? Because again, too, with the protocols, obviously, if everything goes well, you just wait a couple of days, or if you want to. Right? Or if you're the league and it happens in the finals, do you just say, all right, we just going to wait 4 or 5 days? And then if you're the opposing coach, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, you're going to feel like it's a very dicey situation because if you're opposing coach and you feel like, yo, they best player is out because of COVID, it's just like, I ain't got shit to do with you. You're trying to win a championship. You're going to be looking like, yo, like, what if this is my best player? Are we going to do the same thing? It's going to be a mess. But hopefully, we won't have to talk about this again hopefully we don't have to talk about this again. But if we do have to talk about this again, that it's a problem because that means this situation is still the same or worse or like, who knows? It's interesting, man. COVID is generational. It's sad, really.
COVID is generational, man. But yeah, man, I also want to talk too about my guy Kemba for a quick second. Just kind of switch gears, want to lighten the mood up a little bit. So obviously, both my UConn teams lost over the weekend. It kind of hurt. Men lost to Providence. Women lost to Louisville. It is what it is. But in better news with UConn, Kemba's back playing with the Knicks. And I just want to congratulate New York Knicks fans and just let everyone know he's back. And we all know what the hell Kemba was capable of. It's a shame that, he was kind of benched and everything like that. But to see him back hooping and doing what he does best is definitely a special sight to see. So definitely happy for him. How do you feel about his return?
I was happy. To be right because I knew what was going to happen. Kemba Walker was used as a scapegoat because the New York Knicks were successful last season. And then it was like Kemba Walker. We brought Kemba Walker on, he's the new guy. And let's blame the new guy because we're losing. Let's talk about defense. Oh, it's Kemba Walker, his defense and stuff like that. But it's just kind of like you can talk about everybody's defense in that starting five until they mix things up. And you know what? They're still losing. So it's just kind of like it didn't make a difference. Like Kemba Walker was used as a scapegoat, and we saw that. The problem is Tom Thibodeau happens every coaching tender that he's in, comes on, has a great couple of years, success, plays defense. His offense has been trash. Minnesota has been trash. The Chicago Bulls has been trash. Like he's not an offensive head coach, so he doesn't know how to use certain offensive players. So we're seeing with the New York Knicks with Kemba Walker. Like Kemba Walker is a bucket. Like he can create off the dribble, he can score in a variety of ways, and it's just kind of like they benched him, and then Kemba even said he came out and basically said the other day he was like he hasn't even had a conversation since that happened with Tom Thibodeau. Like it's just when he got benched out of the rotation, he just all right sucked it up, supported his team, but it's just kind of like how do you go to a guy and then it's like we're taking out of the rotation. And then it's kind of like then you lose like several games. Like I wouldn't want to have a conversation with you either. Like what can you tell me? Because you try to make me as a scapegoat, and then now I'm looking on the bench like, damn, we still losing. It ain't me. I know what I'm capable of, but it's just kind of like that's the situation with Kemba's in. That's the situation New York Knicks is in. I think it's time to free Kemba though. Like I think it's time.
No,
to
not
free
this
Kemba.
earlier.
I think it's time. Because who knows what's going to happen like when everybody gets back healthy. Is Kemba going to be out the rotation? Is Kemba Walker going to be coming off the bench? Like, what's going to happen? Like, he's still a starting caliber guard in this league. And it's just kind of like that situation is already very dicey. And if you're a player, you're looking at that situation like, I don't really – it's a lot of trust has been broken. You know what I'm saying? It's just like – and if he goes back to – the only way you can rebuild that trust is if Kemba Walker keeps starting for the rest of the season. Because if you start reshuffling him, put him on the bench, and then – oh, you're not going to be on the bench, but we're going to start you here and there, or we're going to play you not as a sixth man. We're going to have you spot minutes at the 7th and 8th man. It's, you know what I'm saying? That's a hard sell. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to think, too, that it's Kemba we're talking about here, and it's like we're not talking about a mid. Like, this is an all-star or a player that's been to, like, all-star game. So it's like, I mean, to me, it's almost like, well, if you bench him, what's the alternative? Or like, I know, folks want to use him as a scapegoat and blame him. But like, all right, if you bench a guy and you're still not winning, then was he really the problem?
That's what I'm saying.
Now, had they gone on like a 10, 12 game winning streak, I would said, all right, shit. Then damn, he might have been on to something. But like, don't do that and then keep losing and think, man, was it really Kemba? No. If the team ain't playing well, then the team just ain't playing well. I get it. Tough decision got to be made, but I don't think that should have been it. I mean, but
especially since the first 2 games we saw them lose, they needed a guy in the clutch and they had the most clutch player on the bench. It was like, damn, this is Kemba Walker time. They probably need Kemba, but everybody knows the problem with the New York Knicks. I've been saying it. It's just kind of like Julius Randle's just not a number 1 guy. It was just as simple as that. I like Julius Randle. He's trying to play the dual forward position. That's what he's doing with the New York Knicks. That's kind of like his mold now, but it's just kind of like he's just not a number 1 guy. He's better off being a second or third option or on a playoff / championship caliber team. But like to have him as a number 1 option is just, that's not it. Last season with the Knicks was, lucky.
That's heavy. I mean, I just wouldn't say, I won't go as far to say he's not number 1 option. I just think maybe his role might need to change. Like maybe take him out of the dual forward spot. Like not everyone could be a Luka or LeBron. Like that takes a serious level of like your playing style really has to fit that. And honestly, I don't think he needs to. Like he's not surrounded by a bunch of guys who aren't good at basketball. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I understand the motive behind it, but at the same time, I think you're trying to like change a player's style when it's not really needed. Like it has to fit who the guy is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think, at least based off, record-wise or whatever, that play this, there could be better options, I'll say. There could be other things that you could be doing to help the team win from a coaching standpoint.
OB should be starting probably. Mitch Robertson, I've heard for years, wait till Mitch get healthy. Mitch is a role player at this point. I'm sorry. I know he's a role player. And injuries has hurt him as well. And it's just kind of like you got Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley is a guy that's probably going to come off the bench, probably going to be a 6-man for his entire NBA career. That's probably going to be his bread and butter. Then you got Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier is a starter in this league, but he also could come off the bench as well. I'm just looking at their roster. Then you got Derrick Rose. We know what Derrick Rose is about. Like Derrick Rose was the best player come playoff time on their team last season. So we know what Derrick Rose is about. Same thing. That's kind of what Kemba Walker would probably be in the playoffs. Like Kemba Walker, it wouldn't shock me if Kemba Walker's the best player on their team come playoff time, because when the game slows down, if you're trying to run your offense through Julius Randle and half-court setting, he's going to go back to what he does best. Like I know his game has improved over the course of his career. Shout out to him. But when it comes to the playoffs and half-court setting, most guys were kind of go backwards in a way. They go back to what they know. Like you could develop your game all you want, but if you're not a natural scorer, if scoring at every level on the basketball court was never your forte, never your best attribute, you're going to go back to what you know. And for Julius Randle, as we saw last year in the playoffs, that's putting his head down, trying to attack to the basket, trying to play bully ball. So that's just what it is, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, I think the game is all about adjustments. Like even just aside from talent, you got to understand that when things ain't going the way you plan, like whether it be in game or just over the course of the season, like the best coaches make adjustments. Like you can't just be trying to stick with the same strategy over and over again if you're failing at it, right? Like it's okay to like just accept the L or understand like, all right, damn, this shit not working. Let's keep it pushing or try something new. Like this is the league. Like, this is the NBA. Like it's obvious that coaches prepare and players prepare and study and watch film and all that. So sometimes it's about execution, but sometimes it's about, adjustment. And if you can't make it, you're not going to last long in this league. The holiday season is upon us, and MyBookie is in the giving spirit with 12 straight days of giveaways. Every day, there's a new exclusive promotion for you to redeem. And the best part is, check this out, it's all free when you sign up and make your first deposit with MyBookie. Now, starting on Tuesday, December 21st, and ending on Saturday, January 1st, you can bring in the new year right with giveaways that can help you fill your stocking with cash this season. Now, from odds boosts to casino chips to straight up locks, all right? MyBookie's 12 days of giveaways is a can't miss promotion. And that's not all right? To get you started, MyBookie is matching all first-time deposits up to $1,000 with our promo code, no pump fakes. That's double your funds to double your winnings and get in on all the best action at MyBookie. Now, don't miss out, all right? Double your first deposit up to $1,000 by using promo code NOPUMPFAKES. Head to MyBookie, place your bets, and get in on the best 12 days of the year today. All right, now bet anything, bet anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Let's play a game. How would you give me a player that will fix the Knicks?
Give you a player that will fix the Knicks. All right, so immediately
Yeah.
I'm thinking defense.
Okay.
A two-way. All right, so I mean, okay. That's a tough. First person that came to my mind was Paul George, but then I don't want to just say a very, a top 10, 15, 20 player or whatever.
Yeah, no, okay.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, it makes it easy. I could just say LeBron, but all right, so
mean,
realistically, I do like Paul George.
Realistically fix the Knicks. How about that?
Yeah.
That's a better
All right.
question.
All right, so I mean, Paul George on the Knicks would be nice. Someone mentioned to me Brandon Ingram, but I would.
Go.
You like Brandon Ingram?
Yeah.
I mean, I like on the Knicks. I mean,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would want like a two-way player. Honestly, regardless of position too. Like I said, PG. I mean, obviously he's a win, but if like they can get themselves a two-way guard or a two-way big, like someone that can really do it on both sides of the ball, and someone who for a fact is a number one option. Like honestly, yeah, I'm sticking with Paul George. To me, Paul George would definitely. I mean, because he gives them that guy who can put the ball in the hoop. He gives you, the idea of playing, being a top, tier defender. He gives you versatility in terms of, again, being able to do, in a way, most things on a basketball court. And I mean, for a fact that Paul George is and can be a number one option, especially as he's proven come playoff time. So.
The only problem I said realistically. I mean, Paul George.
Okay. All right. Okay.
How would you fix the Knicks realistically?
All right. So how do you
this is a
do you have
game.
a player in mind? Do you have a player in mind?
This is a game. How would you fix the Knicks realistically?
How would you? Okay.
This is a game.
All right. So how would you fix the Knicks realistically, or what player would you add? Because those can kind of be
either or. All
right.
No, either or. Like, how would you fix the Knicks? Like, would you? Like I said, I would start. I said Obi needs to start. I would start Kemba Walker, and then for a player. What player would you like to see possibly be traded to the Knicks, or who they can go after maybe in the future? Yeah.
All right. So first thing I would do is like acknowledge what it is that you're really trying to do right now. And even though sometimes I answer you would think it's obvious, well, we're trying to win a championship. Let's be real. You and I both know not all 30 NBA teams are trying to win a championship right now. That's just a fact. Some guys are trying to build for the future. Some guys are just trying to make it to the playoffs. Some GMs are trying to make sure they re-sign certain players this season and whatnot. So what is your overall goal this season? Is it to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, to get home court advantage, whatever it is, and then go from there? But I think, though, I know they don't want to trade their young pieces and again, build for the future. But as long as there's some sort of growth, especially from last year, like if you really want to go out there and prove to people that last year wasn't luck, that it wasn't just, it just happened. Obviously, you got to win some ball games, but at the same time, you might have to make some moves. I wouldn't trade Kemba. Obviously, I wouldn't trade RJ or Julius. And then, but from there, it's like, put it like this. In order to really make like significant moves within the Eastern Conference, you're going to probably have to give up some pieces. And I know Knicks fans tend to fall in love with their players, which is a good thing. I get it. Not mad at it at all. But sad reality is this is a business. And I don't like the fact that guys might have to get traded, but if you're trying to win chips, emotions get put to the left. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like
he said,
like,
get put to the left, like Beyonce.
Like, I'm just saying, like players know that it sucks. It's unfortunate. I don't say that with a smile on my face, but hey, man, it ain't always gonna be pretty when you're in the league. Norris Cole talked about it. Like making a league is dope, it's fun, but like staying in it, that's the part where it's like, yo, and it's not just staying in the league, but staying on a certain team, right? It's like, yo, it ain't always gonna be sweet. Like if you're not producing or teams ain't winning games, it might get clipped. See, all right. So to the Knicks, I don't want to say another guard because you got Kemba, D Rose, and quickly. Kind of want to see Colin on there, Colin Sexton on there, but
that's
that dream is.
That may not be a dream though, because that's probably.
But the thing is, if that happens, if Colin Sexton is able to go to the Knicks, then what does that do with your three other guards? Like,
but you don't worry about that. You think about the future. You get the best available in the future. Who would you rather build around right now? You rather build around Colin Sexton, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett. So it's just kind of like, even though that's a nasty, like maybe shooting wise, that could get very nasty maybe at times. But at the same time, it's just like you're building guys, two-way players in a way. So that's what I'm saying. Colin Sexton would be a guy I would mention. If you're shooting for the stars and waiting for free agency, Donovan Mitchell. If Donovan Mitchell, let's say that he gets tired of situation with the Jazz, a couple years, he's a free agent. He's a guy that's probably going to be available. Go out to get him. Know his relationship with Leon Rose. Know that situation as well. Another guy, Bradley Beal, is going to be a free agent next year. I don't know if I'm just saying. I'm just thinking about.
I'm with you. But when I said Paul George, then you mentioned the word realistic. All right,
it's more realistic because Bradley Beal's a free agent, and then Colin Sexton's probably going to be available, and then Donovan Mitchell has ties to New York because of his agent. So it's those three are probably not Bradley Beal, but like Colin Sexton and Donovan Mitchell in the future is realistic.
Look, if you want to get Knicks fans excited and hopeful, by all means, run. Because we done like, I'm not even a Knicks fan, but I just know the pain of the anticipation and just being let down. Because as a Kobe fan, I still think about, what would happen if Kobe and Chris Paul were teammates. But it is what it is on that. But just the idea of like, you kind of think about, oh shit, we might be able to get this guy. We might be able to get that guy. All right. Don't shit matter till they sign on that dotted line, player.
Of course. All that woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's like when we talk about, oh, we got something on the table. We got a little bit of this.
Anything.
Like until they sign, until you see them figures. All right, it's just hearsay at this point.
Exactly.
So here go another situation. Realistically, fix the Los Angeles Lakers right now. What would you do? They're 16-15 right now. Nikola Jokic is playing with guys off the street and got a better record than LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Anthony Davis. That just shows you how cold Nikola Jokic is. Like, he got them higher in the standings. He playing with guys that he playing with guys that you can't. He's missing his two top players, and he playing with guys basically off the street, man. And he has a better record than LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook in the Western Conference. Talk about a floor riser. How would you realistically fix the Los Angeles Lakers? Because I don't want to hear like, oh, we know they're talented, this and that, but like I told you a couple podcasts ago, like they're a bad team. Like they're a bad team right now. It is what it is.
All right, how would I fix the Los Angeles Lakers?
Realistic moves only.
Realistic moves only. I wouldn't do a damn thing. And the only reason why I say that, no, for real, the only reason why I say that is because of one individual, LeBron James. And it's not even just like, all hail the king kind of thing, but if there is one player and probably, I won't say league history, but actively playing, if there was one guy who I could sit here and say, like, you know what, things might be a little wacky during the regular season, but come playoff time, we know he gets active, it's him. And so the Lakers as a whole, okay, maybe there might be some question marks, but this still LeBron James. And even last year, you know what I'm saying, with them losing to the Suns, there were injuries and things like that. But I'm not going to get carried away. And again, I know it's the regular season and things may not go in the way they plan, but let's not get it confused. You got 3 MVP caliber guys on one team. And I know people are going to sit here and say, like, the playoffs, you can't just have an on and off switch. You got to have things clicking come April and May and all that. And like I said, I agree. Yeah. I need them to kind of turn around sooner rather than later. But trust me, if there is any player in our league who I feel confident that can really get it done and rally his teammates around him to do the same, it's LeBron James. And he's proven it. He's given us reason in the past. And until LeBron is on a fully healthy team that loses in the playoffs, you're not going to hear me really panic too much.
The problem with that is that I'm looking. LeBron James is healthy, still top 3 player in the game. You can make a point. Arguably, he's the best player in the game still, the way he's been playing right now. The problem is, as great as LeBron James is, it's getting ridiculous to me that he's having to carry this load and he's about to turn 37. That's my fear. He shouldn't have to be carrying this load in the regular season when you got guys of, like you said, MVP caliber guys, all-star caliber guys on your team. So I have to look at Frank Vogel. What are you doing? I'm looking at the lineups that you're putting out constantly. Doesn't make sense. DeAndre Jordan is not an NBA player anymore. It's as simple as that. Like, he's getting high minutes. It's just like Isaiah Thomas. Glad he's in the league, coming off the street, playing high minutes. I get his COVID protocol and stuff like that, but it's just kind of, that's not the ideal situation. So it's just kind of like, realistically, how would I fix the Los Angeles Lakers? One, Anthony Davis has to get healthy. Two, Anthony Davis is not a center. Like, he doesn't want to play the 5. All this, I know he's better. People like to have a higher plus minus with him at the 5. Sometimes people talk about it. You do that in playoff series for spurts. They need to go out and make a trade. They need to go out and get a guy that can stretch the floor, also a guy that can rim protect. There's a guy that's available. Myles Turner. I think that's one way to help fix the Los Angeles Lakers realistically. You go out and get Myles Turner, play him at the 5, put Anthony Davis at the 4, LeBron at 3. You got Monk at the 2. Then you got my boy Russell Westbrook at the 1. You got guys coming off the bench, and you got Reeves if you want to go small at times. I think that's the perfect player for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's who they need. They kind of, because their defense hasn't been the same. Like, it was before issues with Frank Vogel's offense. Like, okay, we can kind of ignore that because we know defensively the Lakers are really great. But now this year it's just like offensively it's like what the hell we're doing, and now it's like defensively they're not really great as well. So it's just kind of like now, and on top of that, we're putting so much pressure on LeBron James where I'm looking at this like, what the hell is going on? Like, it don't make no sense. Like, you got Anthony Davis, you got Russell Westbrook. I know Anthony Davis, his numbers he's averaging. I know Russell Westbrook, his numbers he's averaging. But at the same time, it's just like, you're there to help LeBron not have to do so much in the regular season so he can be fresh in the playoffs, especially at the age that he's going to be. Not like LeBron James is 33 years old and can do all this. Having him do all this, where he got to average 28, 7, and 7 over his last 11 games, shooting 50% from the field, it's cool. I love it. It's showing that LeBron is maybe not human, but at the same time, that's not the ideal situation.
Yeah, and you kind of just wish like LeBron was able to coast during a season like this and have Russ and AD kind of lead the way during the regular season.
Russ is there.
And then no, I'm just saying though, I know what
you're saying. Yeah, go ahead.
Have Russ and AD kind of lead the way during the regular season, then come playoff time, LeBron just, all right, let's get it going.
Yeah.
And really, really hoop. But I mean, look, if there's any player in the league who is used to being in situations that aren't really ideal, it's LeBron. Like, I know he probably, wishes that the record was better, but at the end of the day, if you walking out there with your man's Melo, with AD and Russ, that, group of guys is a lot more ideal than some of the rosters that he's had to play with in previous times with his career. So it definitely is unfortunate, but I don't think this is a situation. This isn't the worst that he could possibly feel in his career, right? Like, I don't think he can, there's times where he could look to his left and then look to his right in the locker room like, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night. But now it's like, shit, I still got to be the best player on my team. That's not like, But I mean, like I said, I definitely, feel like if it were up to him, obviously he won't come out and say it publicly, of course. But like, damn, man, like, I know I could be the best. I know I can give you a 28, 7, and 7, but I don't want to have to until I really need to. You know what I'm saying? Conserve your energy until when it really matters. Because even as we feel like, LeBron isn't human this, LeBron isn't human that, like, eventually, not even just, speaking on retirement or anything like that, but like, as a human being, if you put more on a person's back over time, it's like, all right, is there anybody else here that's trying to rock with me? But I don't know, man. They got to get it, together sooner rather than later.
Christmas is this week. And like, we talked about, like, all right, Christmas time. And when after Christmas game, that's when things start getting real. Like, Christmas is around the corner. It's only going to be so much like, all right, they're talented. They got this players, like, like, they hovering around that 6-7 seed play situation. Like, are they going to do that all year?
And the thing is, too, when we're in a year where, obviously AD is injured now, but with COVID protocols, you definitely have to win as much as you can as early as you can, because
talk about it.
You really don't know. Like, obviously injuries, you never know with injuries, but even more so with COVID protocols, you really, really don't know.
Mhm.
Like you could be stepping on the court where you looking to your left, looking to your right. Like you seen what happened with the Nets.
Yeah.
Like, their big three not playing. So
Blake Griffin was the best player in that starting lineup for the Nets.
man, that
And this ain't the Blake from
game,
this ain't the Blake
that
from the
game
Clippers.
was spooky, bro. That
Yeah.
game was spooky, bro. I'll just leave it at that. But it was, man, watch it live too.
This ain't the Blake.
Anyway, yeah.
That's not the Blake Griffin Nets. So that's crazy to me.
Boy, oh boy.
Last but not least, realistically fix the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm.
Because they're like 15-15. They're the 7th seed right now.
Okay. So what exactly do the Mavericks need to pair up with Luka?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I don't know why. My first response, you know what it's going to be? Get a point guard.
Talk about it.
Get a point guard. I know.
Talk about it.
I know that's a very unpopular opinion. But if I'm being
it.
asked what the Mavericks might need, even with Luka, maybe a point guard. Maybe someone, that can handle the ball, and just overall kind of help facilitate and score and everything like that. Because we saw, with, James Harden being on the Rockets and having to do everything from an offensive standpoint, it's wavy, see the numbers and the stats and stuff like that. But eventually, there's got to be some other source.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else that's like, all right, here's another threat. It's not just one guy dribbling for, 17 seconds, high,
and number,
big roll and all that.
I'm gonna let you go, but number 77 is not a James Harden. Like James Harden he ain't won a championship, but James Harden's a winner. Like we talk about a player that can do everything for your team during those Houston years. He was winning games. He was getting close to championships. I love Luka, but it's just kind of like to have Luka play this dual forward. People want to talk about he's a point guard. He's not really a point guard. He's a 6'8" guy that can do everything on the basketball court, similar to LeBron James, similar to Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's just kind of like his play style. But the only problem with that play style is just like historically, we've seen 2 players win a championship doing that. And that's LeBron James, and that's the freak that just won last year. And you know what they have that Luka Doncic doesn't have? Superior athleticism. That takes a toll on your body when your game is predicated on skill set and not athleticism to have to carry all this load, carry all this weight. Luka can't do that. He can't do what LeBron James and Giannis have done their course of their career because he just doesn't have the athleticism to do so. So like you said, there's the problem and how you fix realistically the Dallas Mavericks, they need either a true point guard or they need a shot creator, a bucket getter, a guy that can handle the ball, can create in the half-court system, that can go to work and Luka can get a ball to and say, here, I ain't got to do nothing. Take me home.
Yeah.
Go get me a bucket. Go be a
crazy.
problem.
It's crazy to think though, like, because again, obviously everyone knows that Luka, he's a, their number one ball handler and stuff like that. But like, maybe that's just it. Maybe like that's the reason why they, might look to be adding. Like in most situations, Luka will still probably be your number one guy, depending on who you get.
Yeah.
But still, though, it's like it's all right to have 2 guys that can, facilitate and again score at that level. Like we saw it work out with James Harden and Chris Paul. And who knows, man? Barring one crazy injury, we might be talking about those 2 guys having won a championship.
Yeah.
And like obviously things happen in the league, and you really never know. But like it's been done before. It's been done before. And I know Mavs fans, they've kind of have injuries and, protocol situations and things like that. And, Luka's been a little hurt and banged up, but still, man, like you still have to address what either the problem is or what it is that you're really trying to get better at.
And it ain't Porzingis. Porzingis is a perfect fit for Luka. They're not good enough to win a championship as a duo, but Porzingis is a great fit. Like he's a great piece to have on a championship caliber team, especially being your third option. Like you said, the problem with the Dallas Mavericks, how you fix them realistically, is just like they need another ball handler. It don't have to be a true point guard. It can be a shot creator, a guy like CJ McCollum. Pair Luka with CJ McCollum and Porzingis, it gets scary.
I need some defense. I need some defense, but I hear you.
Of course, but I'm just saying. But I'm saying it gets scary offensively because now you got a player where, Luka can get everybody easy looks. He can score, get to the rim, score every level. But then you got a player where he's tired and he can get the ball up to and say, go get a bucket. Take some pressure off me. Just go
Please,
out and
yeah.
do it. We saw LeBron James have success with Kyrie Irving doing this. Like we saw LeBron James have success with him being with Dwayne Wade. We saw Giannis Antetokounmpo have success with Chris Middleton. Every guy that's a dual forward that plays his play style, you need a guy that can be a shot creator, which can take some of the stress off of these guys who have to do everything. And once again, the only thing that's different between Luka Doncic and we talk about Giannis and LeBron when they try to play this dual forward play style is that these guys are superior athletes. Like they're some of the greatest athletes we've seen in the history of the NBA and the history of the entire sports landscape. Luka's not that great of an athlete. And he's also, LeBron and Giannis also are two-way players as well, on top of being a superior athletes. So to ask Luka to play this role, dual forward role, do everything on the basketball court offensively, and he doesn't have the athleticism or that defensive capability, it's hard. That's why you need a shot creator.
Yeah, I'm much for that. Kind of just take the pressure off the guy that you know is kind of doing most things on the offensive end for your team. So it's like, hey, it wouldn't hurt, man. It wouldn't hurt. But I like that though. We gotta continue to do that segment.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be for the interviews with the players.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be fire.
Yeah. So what would you do? Yeah, that's without them saying anything crazy.
You gotta be realistic though, because of course, everybody can say, "Oh, put LeBron James."
Right. Yeah, and that's why I initially was like, all right, well, who do I really think?
Yeah,
exactly. I really do like the Paul George on the Knicks though. Like even though he may not be able to be traded or whatnot, like I really do think that would solve a good amount of their problems, and especially working with Thibs and just overall defensive minded and everything like that. Like I think now we're getting realistic.
Yeah, I would try to get Brandon Ingram, but that's a guy I would rather have right now.
Of course, but then the next question is, you already know,
RJ Barrett, bye bye. Draft picks, RJ Barrett, draft pick, bye bye.
It's funny. I would like that just because RJ and Zion would be teammates again.
Me too.
And then you put BI in a bigger market.
Yep, put a bigger market. You make Zion happy. He's playing with his teammate. That chemistry, that duo they had.
Yeah.
And with Duke, perfect situation. BI don't want to be there. He get to be in a bigger market. Get to be the guy.
Get that money, baby.
Giannis gets his boy. Come play with me.
Yeah.
You make Giannis happy.
Zion.
I was about to say,
Giannis
Zion get his boy. Nah. Zion get his boy. RJ, come play with me.
That'd be special though, because again, obviously it would be a reunion with two Duke guys, but just I think it would be a fresh start for both of them. I think both guys. Well, I was saying RJ and Zion, but I guess also BI too. It's like RJ and Zion have, because of the whole Ja situation in terms of how he's elevated his game and he's been sensational, but at the same time, the expectation for RJ, with Zion not playing, those two guys, I still feel like they might have something to prove. So if they can team up and hopefully cause even more havoc and damage for both of them, hey, that'd be some special. Now, I know how you feel about the organization that they might be playing with, but even still, man, teammates is teammates.
You got to try something, because hopefully we just got to get Zion on the court healthy first. That's key. But at the same time, you got to try something. You got to try anything that you feel that may have a chance of working, so you can possibly keep Zion. Because I'm telling you, no matter if he signs this extension, if he comes back, he's healthy, he signs this after the rookie contract is done, signs an extension, he's not staying in New Orleans long term. Unless you have a consistent playoff team, they're winning games, and possibly even, maybe competing for the Western Conference Finals. That's it. And that's for a chance, a chance. Because even then, that may not even be enough. So, you got a cap or no cap? Or
yeah, I'm about to say, I got you. Yeah, all right. Cap or no cap, Darius Garland will win Most Improved Player of the Year.
Whoo. He should. I'm going to say no cap. I mean, he should win it. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of scary. Obviously, I'm rooting for him too as well in all of Cleveland, especially in this post-LeBron era. But it's just so sad. I think, unfortunately, this is one of those times where obviously we give guys their flowers and uplift their play and everything like that. But what that ultimately would mean for Colin Sexton. And not to shift gears to talk about Colin.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like, okay, well, if Darius wins it, if the team continues to play well, if they feel like, they're building a solid core, well, Colin needs and should be a part of that picture moving forward. But Darius Garland, I mean, I think we're saying he's that's a bad man.
Top 5 hand on the league.
I mean, he's in a market though where, maybe not that many people are watching because of that. But like, this is just a proof that, there are guys that are great at basketball that don't play in LA or Brooklyn, so, and Darius Garland is definitely one of those guys. And he's young too. You know what I'm saying? Young. So he's young, man. And I'm glad that not only he, but also the entire team is kind of moving in that direction of deciding to win now. A lot of people probably thought it would take a few more years for them to do it.
Mm-hmm. He got a little tray in him. Like handle, get to the rim, hit a floater, can shoot it from deep distance. Now I'm not saying he's Trae Young, but he has some Trae in him. Like he's special. Right now, you can make a legitimate argument that he deserves to be on the All-Star team this year. That's the way he's played. Like the Cavs may deserve to have 2 All-Stars this year. They're 3rd in the East, 19 and 12 right now. Darius Garland's putting up phenomenal numbers. And it's just like he's also a point guard as well. Like he facilitates at a high level. Like he scores when he needs to score. He can hit open threes. He can hit contested threes. He can create off the dribble. Hard to have defenders kind of like trap him because he's so fast. You try to blitz him, his quickness is he can get by you. You find an open man with the quickness, with the easy, because his passing vision is so pure and so wonderful. Like he's a special player. Like we had a Cleveland Cavaliers pod. We gave him flowers, but he's different, bro.
Yeah,
he's different.
And situation, man. I just hope he stays. And I don't think he'll leave. I mean, I don't. At least, not yet. But that core, if they can kind of stay together, a team that is good but also young is extremely rare. And if you can kind of keep that core together, because obviously now we're in an era where the guys in the league are still dominating, like LeBron and KD and Steph, but they won't be here forever in terms of playing in the NBA. So that next wave of superstars, so it could be here.
I'll tell you one thing. Lakers don't get it done this year. They don't win a championship. Why not go home, LeBron? One more time.
Oh, that's the agenda you want to. Okay, I get it.
Why not go home?
I've seen those.
Why not? What young core? Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, like what? Hey, because it's just kind of like if you're playing with the Los Angeles Lakers, it's probably you're thinking LeBron James, like Anthony Davis' health and stuff like that. Like I may not win another championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. If he don't win this year, it's just kind of like those things starts to happen. You start thinking about like, all right, well, go home, finish my career out in Cleveland, and take my chance in the Eastern Conference, which is probably easier than the West. And it's just like, who knows?
I don't know about that, because then you'd have to go head to head with KD and Giannis and Joel Embiid.
That is true. Yeah.
So who knows?
Who knows?
But I mean, I don't think he'll leave. That would, that'd be a fire storyline, him going back home and hopefully, having, the Pharaoh tour with, his home state and stuff. But
probably it makes. What do you got? 2 more years on his contract? This year, next year?
I don't see him leaving. I just don't
he feels like a true Laker though. It's crazy. Like, like he has that Laker aura. Like he like it just. It's almost like some players that you was just like, yo, like you should have been like a Laker. Like LeBron should have been a Laker.
Bro, LeBron as a Laker. Oof, man.
I just hope they get it. I just need them to get it done. Like,
LeBron as a Laker or a Knick. But marketing wise, the NBA would have.
Yeah, I just need them to get it done. I need them to get it done. No more excuses.
The Lakers, you're saying?
The Lakers. I need the Lakers to get it done. And I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are special. And if LeBron did decide to go that route, I would definitely support it and root for it. But who knows what's going to happen? Because like everybody keeps talking about LeBron. When's he going to retire? Like I said, like we may be seeing some Tom Brady shit with LeBron. Like we may be talking about 41, 42. Goddamn, LeBron's still top 5 in the league. Is he still top 10? He 41, 42. Like, damn. Like, when is it going to end?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
When is it going to end? He may play so long, kids may not remember that. He played with Dwayne Wade. Like, you played with Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade been out the league 8 years.
Same draft class and everything. Like,
like what? Shit. Like, who knows, bro?
Yeah, but I say it's LeBron, bro. So you really don't know. Like, I think if there's one thing we've learned about him is, dude, whatever you think he can't do in terms of like,
as long as he healthy.
Playing, yeah, as long as he's on that basketball court, man, who knows? Like, please, that this is not a normal situation. This is not normal. Oh yeah, bro. You know, Father Time. I really don't know.
I know.
I really don't.
28-7-7. We talk about 28-7-7 and 50% over his last 11 games. And we talked about the only thing that's Father Time with LeBron James is when he gets hurt and him recovering from these injuries. It takes longer. That's Father Time, I believe, with LeBron James. That's it.
Yeah. But that's a big one.
That's a big one. Yeah,
that's a big one. That's a big one. Unfortunately, he doesn't have like a crazy medical history.
Yeah. He's been hurt a lot with the Lakers though. Like he's missed the most games in his career with the Lakers, and that's part of Father Time as well. So that's what we're talking about. Like when we talk about Father Time, it's when he's getting hurt more often, and it's taking him a little longer to recover. But when he's playing, when he's on that court, KD, Steph, and y'all throw your boy Giannis. Those three, it's just kind of like nobody else I want to hear better than LeBron. And I don't even think that all three of those guys better than LeBron. Like, I think one is, maybe two, but it's just kind of like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's only those three. That's crazy. It's only those three that people would be like, all right, like, if you say Giannis, I think LeBron's better than Giannis, but if you say Giannis, I'll listen. You know, if you say Stephen Curry, I'll listen. You say Kevin Durant, like, okay, I'll listen. But nobody else, I'm not listening to.
And he is way older. We're not going to say way older, but he's significantly older than all the people you just named, which is like, what the hell?
So yeah, cap or no cap.
Yeah, but
Darius Garden. Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah,
I would like it.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm definitely rooting for him, and it'll be special, I think, for him as well as the whole city and organization. And I think that could be the real turning point for them. It's like, you know, it was definitely tough to see LeBron go, even with the championship. But there's, you know, some hope in knowing that the future is okay, you know. But all right, y'all. Just like that, we gone. Peace.
It's your boy, M.I.K. Smith, also known as A-Kiss. Make sure you guys go follow No Pump Fakes wherever you get your podcasts.